Danful offers unparalleled, curated, and bespoke tours across Africa for travelers seeking genuine cultural experiences, enriched with magnificent sights, sounds, and flavors found on the continent. Each trip is reliably curated to ensure visitors are gifted with an immersive and authentic adventure. Whether you find yourself strolling along the charming white sand beaches of Sierra Leone, feasting on the mouth-watering delicious foods in Senegal, observing or partaking in various aspects of the Isheshi traditional system Ifa native to Yoruba land, Nigeria, with Danful, you will rediscover a fulfilling sense of kinship to the true heart of the motherland, her communities. Our core values focus on integrity, quality, safety, and sustainability. We are uniquely committed to assisting with the advancement of African infrastructure and promoting African businesses, so both travelers and the communities they visit receive beneficial exchanges. At Danful, we understand the importance of connectivity, and we have created a model which provides bespoke experiences based on your passions or hobbies. With us, expect a long-lasting spiritual bond between you and your destinations. Live, love, Danful, Africa. To learn more, visit danful.africa.
Peace, fam. We are live again. Donnie Samir, search for Huru. Thank you all. Thank you so much for joining. Hit that like button. Again, please hit that like button. Also, make sure you share and make sure you subscribe. Got a couple of announcements before we get started. Announcement number one, we're rolling to Cape Town, South Africa. March 25th through April 2nd. March 25th through April 2nd. If you are interested in joining us, please visit Danfo. That's DANFO .Africa. Again, please visit Danfo. That's DANFO .Africa to learn more. I would love to have you all, love to host you all. We're going to have a great time. We're going to have a great time in Cape Town. Then we're rolling to Senegal in May. That's for the Jazz Festival. All right, that's May 9th to the 18th. Then we go to the Oshun Festival. That's August 9th to the 18th. Then we roll to Zanzibar in September. That's September 20th to 29th. And then in November, we got Ghana and Ivory Coast. So if you're interested in joining us, please visit Danfo.Africa. If you're interested in joining us, please visit Danfo.Africa. Today's topic, we're having a conversation about Captain Ibrahim Traore in Burkina Faso. And it kept coming up, is the areas outside of Ouagadougou, guys, if I butchered that, I'm so sorry. Are they secure? Do they really control, or who controls 75% of the country or 50% of the country? I forgot what percentage of it, but there are some people that were saying that a good large amount of the country is ran and controlled by jihadis. And radical Islam is a problem. It is definitely setting the country back, radical Islam, between North Nigeria, the Sahel, Sudan. It's setting the continent back right now, radical Islam. So interesting enough, this came across my feed today, and last night, I guess 11 police officers were killed in Burkina Faso. 11. I mean, that's a problem. That's a problem. So there are some security issues. Here we go. I'm gonna pull it up right now. Jihadist attack claims lives of 11 police officers in Burkina Faso. That's a problem. So can we get some truth on what's going on in Burkina Faso? Because we have one side saying everything is cool, then we got another side that's saying it's a problem.
At least 11 police officers have been killed in a major jihadist attack in Burkina Faso. Security forces told AFP that several hundred militants assaulted a police detachment in the eastern Gourma province over the weekend. 7 officers died during the initial attack, with 4 more succumbing to their wounds afterwards. The Al-Qaeda-linked group JNIM has claimed responsibility. The victims were buried at the scene in Balga under a new military directive. Police have since withdrawn from the area. Burkina Faso's leadership under Ibrahim Traore, which seized power in 2022, no longer provides detailed accounts of such attacks, claiming they have reconquered swaths of territory. However, the country remains trapped in a violent spiral that has claimed tens of thousands of lives since 2015.
All right, at least 11 police officers were killed. Oh, real quick, I show Speed's going to Benin Republic tomorrow. You know what? I'm willing to bet that I show Speed is going to get citizenship in a country in Africa while he's over there. I have a feeling that he's going to get citizenship in Benin or even Liberia. I don't know. Something is just telling me that. Guys, what do you think? What do you think? Do you think I Show Speed might get citizenship in Africa before he leaves the continent? So he's going to Benin tomorrow. You know, Sierra just got her citizenship. You got Spike Lee, who's leading an initiative as far as the diaspora going back to Benin. Russell Wilson is there right now getting his. You have some other diasporans who got their citizenship not too long ago. I think I Show Speed might get his passport when he goes to Benin Republic. I mean, I could be wrong. I could be wrong. But that's what I'm thinking. Anyways, at least 11 police officers were killed in a major jihadist assault in eastern Burkina Faso over the weekend. Security sources confirm, highlighting the persistent and deadly violence plaguing the country, despite military claims of progress. Now, a lot of people are saying there's progress. Some people are saying there's not. We'll open up the lines here shortly, and we could have a discussion. Security sources told AFP that several hundred jihadists attacked a police detachment in Baga, located in the Gourma province of the East region. The assault left 7 officers dead at the scene, with 4 others later succumbing to their wounds. The Al-Qaeda affiliate group for the support of Islam and Muslims claimed responsibility for the attack on the same day. Junta's opaque response and withdrawal. In accordance with the new military directive, the victims were buried at the scene in Baga rather than being transported to urban centers. Okay. Following the attack, police forces withdrew from the area to Diapangu. The ruling junta, led by Captain Ibrahim Traore, who seized power in a 2022 coup, has stopped providing detailed accounts of such attacks and publicly asserts it has reconquered nearly 3/4 of the nation's territory. A nation trapped in a spiral of violence, despite the junta's claims, Burkina Faso remains caught in a devastating conflict that began in 2015. The country is grappling with attacks from armed groups linked to both Al-Qaeda and the Islamic State. According to the ACLED conflict monitoring group, the violence has claimed tens of thousands of civilian and military lives, with more than half of those fatalities coming in the last 3 years alone. This is alleged. But guys, I'll put the link in the chat room. Is this propaganda? I think Benin might give him a passport. Guys, links in the chat room if you think this is propaganda, because a lot of people are saying that, you know, we're over exaggerating this whole jihadi problem in Burkina Faso. Then you got some people saying, nah, it's real. And we know we just had the not too long ago, a couple weeks ago, we had the attempted coup, and the main coup plotter was extradited from Togo back to Burkina Faso. So I wonder what they're gonna do with him. That's the question. I wonder what they're gonna do with him. Do they keep him locked up for life for treason? Or do they give him the death penalty? But it's interesting. It's interesting to see what's going to happen. But links in the chat room. If you want to call in after the conversation, you're more than welcome to call in after the conversation. Guys, let's be respectful. No name calling, and the N-word tariff is on. Okay. Once again, the N-word tariff is on. If you say the N-word, it is a $10 tariff. All right. If you say the N-word, it is a $10 tariff. All right. And if you don't pay, you're getting kicked off. Again, if you don't pay, you're getting kicked off. All right. But links in the chat room. If you want to call in, call in. If not, we'll close out. DMV Pat, go ahead.
Yeah, you hear me?
I hear you now. Go ahead.
Yeah, the situation over there, I mean, it's obvious that these terror groups are being funded by outside sources, because there were reports coming out that the JNMI, whoever they had better weapons than the Nigerian military, like weapons that the Nigerian military tried to purchase from the US, but the US wouldn't send it to them. But somehow these jihadists got the weapons you were trying to get. And they also have them around Burkina Faso. Also, another thing, I don't know if you're aware of this, but they actually formed the Sahel Army to kind of take on the insurgents around there.
Yeah, it's definitely needed.
Yeah, that's all I have to say.
All right, cool. Go ahead, Prince Steve.
Can you guys hear me good?
Yes.
Okay. I think that the guys from the Middle East, that some of the Arab countries have a role in this. And the reason why I say this is because if you look at the ISIS groups in West Africa, like Boko Haram, they have javelins. You know, they have rocket propelled grenades, and they know how to kind of like build explosive devices on the fly. So to me, the amount of javelins and RPGs that these jihadist groups are firing, you know that they're getting it from somewhere. I think this is kind of like a way of staging proxy war on on West Africans. I don't really know the reason behind it, but I think that there's some very major power players um behind the scenes, and I don't know, because it's crazy that the Nigerian military, which we could argue that they are corrupt, they can't take out a lot of these guys. They don't have the wherewithal or the ammunition to take these guys out. So I'm thinking in my head that these guys are getting these RPGs from somewhere, because it's hard to take out somebody that has RPGs and kamikaze drones. That's a little, it's not super advanced, but that's military grade weapons. And the jihadist group has that 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 raises a bell in my mind. That's all I'm saying.
Pamela, go ahead.
Peace, and thanks for having me up. Much love to the panelists. I'll be honest, in my estimation, it would be best that particularly sub-Saharan African nations get the ball rolling on banning Islam. And when I say that, I'm not trolling at all. Similar to how these same sub-Saharan African nations, for the most part, have successfully banned homosexuality. I want to see sub-Saharan African nations ban Islam, and we must acknowledge, we must acknowledge that in the long run, Islam has not benefited sub-Saharan Africans. And really, in closing, when we look at Saudi Arabia, they are not practicing any indigenous African religions. So these same sub-Saharan African nations need to ban Islam in a comparable fashion. It has only caused division throughout the continent, and we have lost many lives, and many lives have been enslaved due to the adoption of this foreign religion that we call Islam. Really.
Brother, I think you're right. I think that that West Africans need to abandon it. I mean, I think this is the best take you've ever had. Um, I don't see it as any good. I think down in West Africa, in the southern parts of West Africa, you have a lot more Christians, and I think that maybe some of these jihadists see that as a threat, and the power players from the Middle East, possibly, potentially, are supplying these jihadist proxies to just take out the ethnic sub-Saharan Africans and take out Christians. It's crazy, man. I hope that Burkina can get on top of it, man. Like they start doing some offensive fighting. Maybe some of these Africans need to do some guerrilla fighting. Um, I think it's time to arm up the locals with AK-47s, Christian people with AK-47s. They need to learn how to make some hand grenades. They need to learn how to reverse engineer some rocket propelled grenades and javelins and 127 munitions. They're gonna have to learn how to do that, because it's it's war, man. And like, if it's a war on your soil, you can't back down. You gotta fight back. You gotta fight back till all your enemies are dead.
All right, go ahead, Casanova.
Peace to everybody
Hey,
on the
Cash,
panel.
listen, you didn't pay your N-word tariff yesterday. I'm gonna give you a pass. So the N-word tariff is on.
All right, everyone, telephone. I'm gonna keep it PG-13, brother. I agree with the brother what he just said. The locals need to be armed in order to effectively deal with these cowardly jihadists as people are describing them. I heard they do a lot of hit and run tactics, guerrilla tactics. In order to deal with them, everyone needs to be trained. Everyone needs to be armed. And I think that's long overdue. And I think that's a model that most African countries need to follow. It'll be hard. It'll be really hard for anybody to, invade a country where everybody's armed. It'll be hard for anybody to subjugate people in a country where everybody's armed. So first arm, well, first training, really. A lot of people need to be, trained, not just physically but mentally. Religions, I think, it's hindered a lot of the fight in a lot of Africans all over the world. So like a lot of Africans don't believe in protecting themselves. They believe that God or Allah is gonna protect them. Like so. I believe in order to be effective and really flush these people out of the Sahel and all of Africa, because these jihadists and these radical Muslims, they not just in the Sahel. They're in Mozambique and other places in South and North Africa, Libya. Like so. In order to deal with them, everybody needs to be armed. Everybody needs to be trained. Everybody needs to be on one accord, one thought. Like it needs to be a concerted effort. If you don't, like, it's comparable to like an invasive species. In order to effectively really deal with an invasive species, it has to be concerted effort across the board. So everybody needs to be trapping. Everybody needs to be hunting these jihadists. If you can't hunt, trap. If you can't trap, uh, support, military support. Logistics. The whereabouts of these people. And they really need to stop seeing them as brothers, because I know how that Islam thing could get in the way. And well, he's just, I know they got some kind of program, rehabilitation program in Nigeria, where these jihadists who gonna probably kill people can rehabilitate themselves back into society and be functional members, allegedly, of society again, until they get mad and pick up the gun again. So I agree. Arm everybody with AK-47s, train everybody. We'll deal with this problem overnight. That's all I gotta say.
All right, guys. Links in the chat room. Link is in the chat room if you want to call and add to the conversation. You're more than welcome to call now. Add to the conversation. The link is in the chat room. Hey, DMV Pass, how do you feel about ISO speed in Africa? The impact that it'll have.
I think it's a positive impact because a lot of his audience are younger and they probably they didn't have Africa on their mind. And then they see him over there and they're like, wait, this is not the Africa they told us about. I mean, it has its, bad problems, but they never show like a good side. So I think this is very positive. And like you said earlier, I believe he will get citizenship probably to more than one country. So it's a real good thing to happen.
I think he'll get citizenship in Benin. I'm thinking Benin.
Yeah, that's what it's looking like. But any tourism, whatever minister would be smart to give him
right
citizenship. Yeah.
All right, guys. Links in the chat room. Links in the chat room. If you want to call in. Go ahead, Prince Steve.
Oh, so when I was talking about the warfare, I think that the Burkina Faso needs the AK-47 with the optics and the night vision, just like what the Delta team had when they went in Venezuela. If they can get those night vision goggles, that would be a good asset. But maybe I'm dreaming, but I think that's a real serious thing, man. I think they just got to get ready for warfare, man. West Africa is just gonna have to be a hotbed of war for a while. That's just what's gonna have to happen. It's gonna have to be. It's gonna have to be the showdown area where there's gonna be some bloodshed. I think a lot of people down there ain't work. They're not ready for it, and I think they got to get ready because it's right on the doorstep. I mean, Troy mentioned it. Black winter is coming, and like it's not waiting; it's coming. Like to sit there and wait for it to come is foolish. You got to be ready at all times, man. It's just I hate to see what's going on, but man, it's a people gonna pinpoint it as a Christian Muslim war. I think it's a war on the black race. When you got black civil war, it's blacks fighting blacks. It's Africans killing Africans. But if you got a set of people trying to do an ethnic cleansing or genocide other people because they're not trying to convert, that's a sickness, and you got to get rid of the sickness. You don't want to wipe out a certain group of people, but if they're trying to wipe you out, you got to do something about it. I don't think you can sit there and wait. You got to be offensive. You got to go to street fighting and house to house and wherever these guys are, you got to go get them. I mean, everything has to be towards the war effort because right now it's do or die, it's life or death, it's your sovereignty at stake, your way of life. Um, and I really think that we just gonna have to be West Africa is just gonna have to be on the watch, man. Like they're gonna always have to have a beefed up military. All those countries need to have a beefed up military. I mean, like I said, every weapon that comes out of Russia that Russia sells to Burkina Faso or Turkey sells to Burkina Faso, they need to have the engineers ready to reverse engineer it and try to make a duplicate or replicate of whatever weapon that is sold to them. And then they need to build the infrastructure in the factories so that they can mass produce these weapons. So they can, because warfare is all about production. Whichever side can outproduce the other is the one who's going to win the war. So all those munitions, like you gotta produce more ammo than the other side. If it's the Arabs supplying the jihadists with weapons, then we gotta outproduce the Arabs because we're at war. We gotta decimate the place. We gotta decimate them. We gotta run them out. They're the enemy. That's all I'm saying.
All right, go ahead, Johnny.
Yeah, what's going on, Dice? I just want to make some quick comments real quick because he's getting kind of wild, man. Ibrahim Traore is Muslim himself, so like it doesn't make sense to ban everybody or go at everybody the way that people are kind of describing it out here. But that being said, it is unacceptable that 11 cops have been killed like that. It's not the first time. It's pretty common that they do these type of attacks, and they kill cops in large numbers. At least that's how it's been reported. And people obviously think like, well, if that happened to them, what could happen to me if I go there or whatever. It's definitely bad for tourism and doesn't show good control on the country. So I do think certain things need to be done about that. But one of the points I wanted to bring up is when people mention like the people that get radicalized and stuff like that, people over there will tell you that it's mostly people that are kind of like from the outskirts and are uneducated people, and they get funded by outside forces. So I mean, the tactical approach is important. I do think maybe it would make sense for these people to have some type of way to defend themselves more. I mean, if the police can't, then that's a real problem there, obviously. I know they're worried about coups and all that, but you can't guarantee the safety. Can you at least allow people to enlist in the army or to serve in some type of way? I mean, there's got to be solutions and stuff. But I think it's still it's a way to go. But it's still in the early infancies of his presidency, and he needs to find more allies and stuff around that will be willing to fight and assist with these type of matters. Because I mean, it might not be his expertise. He wasn't the highest ranked soldier in the army before he became a leader, but um, he seems to have a knack for leadership. But coming up with new ways and stuff might be outside of his wheelhouse. Working with other mercenary groups or defense groups or even armies could be beneficial to help him out with dealing with that type of terrorism.
All right, go ahead, Casanova. See you back.
Oh, Dennis, have you heard from what's his name over there? He's over there, right?
Who?
Oh, I forgot his name, man. He used to call up here too, but he was out there.
Out where?
In Burkina.
Oh, yeah, I know you're talking about. Nah, he hasn't called in. Never heard from him.
Oh, okay. I'm wondering if from the ground, if everything is.
Yeah, I would love for him to call in, but yeah, he hasn't called in a minute.
Oh,
Cuddy,
okay.
yeah, Cuddy.
Cuddy, yeah, it was Cuddy.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I think Cuddy has a YouTube page. I don't know, but yeah, I haven't heard from him.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
I just hope everything's copacetic. I hope everything's cool. Yeah, because he'll be the perfect person to keep us informed on what's going on if anything happened.
Yeah, he might have to lay low himself though, if it's it's as bad as it looks. So that might be part of it too.
Yeah, but yeah, Cuddy's been over there for a minute now. I didn't know Cuddy's over there for that long.
Yeah, it seemed like it's been a while. I don't know how long, but
yeah, hold on. I just found his YouTube page. Hold on one second. Last time he's gone live was 2 months ago. Yeah.
Man, so I wish him the best out there, whatever, yeah.
Yeah. But he's been in Burkina Faso for a minute now. So, like you said, hopefully everything's okay, no issues. Go ahead, Casher. Casher, you there? Casher, you guys got to stop calling in on these Obama phones. Yeah, I got to stop calling in on these Obama phones.
I think a lot of what's being reported is propaganda, though. There's a lot of propaganda going on to try to make Burkina Faso look bad. There's a guy on here, Andre TV. He keeps up with a lot of the operations that are going on in the Sahel against the terrorists. So that's probably a good source of information, because a lot of the after a lot of the operations, when Burkina Faso says we killed or captured X amount of terrorists, they actually show you the terrorists. Like when Nigeria said they killed all these terrorist groups, but like you don't see any evidence of that. But they show you the evidence. They're transparent. So I think that Andre TV is a good source of information to know exactly what's going on in the country, because they have been having a lot of successful missions against them. And ever since that drone facility went up, it's like them terrorists has been catching hell. That's why during the latest coup attempt, the two major things was kill Traore and get rid of that drone base. They had to destroy it, because if they did kill Traore, they wouldn't be able to get inside the country, because the drones was just tearing them up.
I don't think that coup was well planned. Like these latest coup, the coup in Benin and the coup, well, the attempted coup in Benin and the attempted coup in Burkina Faso. I don't think they're well planned. Like it's just they don't make sense.
The
Like,
one in Benin, I don't think that was a real coup. It didn't because if you look at when they were on TV talking, the coup plotters, you see people in the back, dudes playing with his foot. He ain't even serious. I'm like, what the hell's going on? Like other dude is looking.
Yo, go ahead.
Like they not. I don't know. It was just strange to me. But the coup plot they just caught recently, because people don't know that they have what's that? Russia has sent people over there. So Trail's got his people around him, and then outside of that, you have the Russians protecting that. So they were helping with the intel. You know, they were tracking the phone calls.
Can y'all hear me?
That's how they got on it.
We hear you now, Cash. We hear you, Cash.
I'm sorry to cut you off, brother. I just wanted to check the mic. You go
on your Obama phone. Stop.
I got it together, bro. I had to buy some minutes, and I'm on that prepaid thing, so I had to buy some minutes, and I think I'm good now. It ain't gonna interrupt no more.
Oh, you see that, Don? Instead, they would. If you compare that to when Traore, when they had their live televised, like, yeah, we're taking over the government. Like they look serious, but these dudes look like, they just it's part of an act. Mm-hmm. That's just how I saw it. The whole thing was just bad. It's like, how are you going to secure the station, but you don't secure the president himself? Because if you don't get him, he's still in power.
Right, guys. Links in the chat room. If you want to call in, click on the link. Again, if you want to call in, please click on the link in the chat room. Go ahead, Castro.
I think what's really preventing them from effectively dealing with these jihadists is the fact that these dudes are Muslim, and that allows them to hide within the general population. That brother thing with the Muslim. I feel like if you dealt away with that Islam, and that's easier said than done. I understand that, but if you made that if you punished it, that people, doing that stuff in the country, it'd be easier to spot these dudes. It'd be easier to pick them out because they'll stand out like a sore thumb. Then, I think a lot of these dudes, they hide in plain sight. Like for them to know when to hit and how to hit and be able to evade capture and be able to evade real serious gunfights with the army of Burkina Faso, they got to really know the landscape. They got to really know the populations, the different demographic of people. So I feel like if you just made that Islam, ain't no Islam here, all traditional African religion, man, they'll stand out like a sore thumb. But I know that's easier said than done. I just feel like that's really hindering them from dealing with them effectively.
All right, guys, we're going to take a quick commercial break. We'll be right back.
Danfo offers unparalleled, curated and bespoke tours across Africa for travelers seeking genuine cultural experiences, enriched with magnificent sights, sounds and flavors found on the continent. Each trip is reliably curated to ensure visitors are gifted with an immersive and authentic adventure. Whether you find yourself strolling along the charming white sand beaches of Sierra Leone, feasting on the mouth-watering delicious foods in Senegal, observing or partaking in various aspects of the Isheshi traditional system Ifa native to Yoruba land, Nigeria, with Danfo, you will rediscover a fulfilling sense of kinship to the true heart of the motherland, her communities. Our core values focus on integrity, quality, safety, and sustainability. We are uniquely committed to assisting with the advancement of African infrastructure and promoting African businesses. so both travelers and the communities they visit receive beneficial exchanges. At Danful, we understand the importance of connectivity, and we have created a model which provides bespoke experiences based on your passions or hobbies. With us, expect a long-lasting spiritual bond between you and your destinations. Live, love, Danful, Africa. To learn more, visit danful.africa.
All right, links in the chat room. Links in the chat room. If you want to call in and add to the convo, please click on the link.
I see people saying that, it's a farce to get people onto African religions. I get it. I understand. Like Kala say, man, we need a Blackistan. You gotta beat people. You gotta whip them into the right thinking. That they whipped us out of our right thinking. So it's like we need to be beat back into that thinking. And in order to do that, we need something like a Blackistan, man. We need a totalitarian regime that rules over our group of people, or a certain group of black people, so we can see the results that we get from that. People like a Shaka Zulu, he get a lot of slack in history, but his method of ruling, it's kind of like, if we don't rule like that, like, black people gonna run all over you. We gonna be corrupt, and we gonna feel like we can do whatever we want to do. Can't nobody say nothing to us. Like, we all walk around with that mindset individually. So, like, imagine you put a group of individual black people together like that, and now they all got that mindset that, hey, can't nobody check us. We get to do whatever we want to do. So I feel like if we did do away with these Abrahamic religions, or for better, if we how do I say, Africanize these religions, because doing away with white Jesus, there shouldn't be no white Jesus pictures in Africa. These symbols, they really get to us. They get to our mentality. If we did away with that, we had a black Jesus up, and we got black gods all over the continent, black Muhammad, and whoever else is revered in Islam. That's all I know is Muhammad. But if we had black deities, that'd go a long way. I mean, I don't think it's feasible if we try to get people back to the African spirituality, because it's like, you really gonna have to beat us to do it. You're gonna have to kill a lot of us too. And like, that may make it unfavorable. It may be a double-edged sword at that point. But I think the religion has a strong effect on the mentality, the thinking of African people. Like, it's like, we cannot function if we're not our real self. We can't function if we're looking at Jesus crack on the wall, or we trying to be Arab because we're Islamic, like, and we saying we ain't black, we're Arabic, we're closer to Arabic. We can't function like that. I think the religion things, it's a huge issue, and it'll forever be in the way in Burkina Faso.
Man, Kasha, Mika says the white Jesus symbology messes with Black Americans because of your racial trauma. Stop projecting it as an African problem. It's your problem.
That is an African problem, because black people and Americans are Africans. Africans react the same way all over the planet. This ain't just a diasporan problem. I think that's what you meant by saying black, but we can go with black too, because Africa is black. Let's just say black then. It's a black problem. We react the same. They give us a white Jesus. They beat us into believing in the white Jesus, and it takes effect in our life when we doing business with white folks. We do business and we take short ends of the deal because he's God. God deserves this. And I hear Africans say stuff like, well, yeah, white folks use they voodoo and they magic for good, and Africans use they voodoo and they magic for bad. It's just it eats away at our mentality. It eats away at our spirit, that we're looking at our enemy on the wall and we're praising him to come save us. So when he don't come and you really do get a savior that looks like you, what do you want to do? You want to take him out. You want to kill him. Because this goes against everything you were raised with this white Jesus. So it's a real deep problem. Like I said, a lot of people gonna have to die in order for us to effectively deal with that problem. A lot of people had to die for them to inject that into us and have us take it face value as our own system. They literally have to beat that into us. So if she says it's not a problem, she's probably one of the people who need to be beat or need to be put in the guillotine in Blackistan. That's what I say to that.
Hey, go ahead, Prince Steve.
All right. Yeah. I kind of agree with what Casanova is saying, but I mean, a guy like Traore, who's not really, he's an authoritarian leader. He's not democratic at all. That's what you need in a lot of these African countries. The problem with that is if you have a authoritarian leader that is too powerful, it's going to attract attention from the European countries, like in the United States as well. They might try to carry out like a power regime, like a regime change, like they did Maduro. And I think that those guys would be successful. The problem is the solution is you have to have maybe 10 other guys who are able to replace Ibrahim Traore that are like-minded. And I think that in Africa, well, in Burkina Faso, you have that. You have a lot of people that are like-minded, like Traore. The problem is, it's all the countries around there, like Nigeria, Ghana, Ivory Coast. We can't get people out of that democratic mindset. And as an American, I believe democracy is good, but in Africa, you need somebody that has some vision. And we just follow the European path or the American path. We can't really carve out our vision. We can't really carve out our objective, trying to follow the pattern of other countries. We really need to kind of like reflect and figure out where we're going. And I think Traore has the path carved out. He has the vision. I think all the other countries need to follow behind, but you got too many leaders in Africa that's still tied to their colonial masters. I mean, I don't know what the hell that is in Nigeria with Tinubu, but Tinubu, he's just a sellout, man. Nigeria needs a guy like Traore. If not, it's not going to really work. It's not going to really work in that country. That country's just going to stay a failed state. It has to have an identity that brings all the people together. You have all these different tribes. I'm Yoruba. I'm Hausa. I'm Igbo. It's too many tribes. Nigerians have to be Nigerians. They have to come together for once and for all. Just like how Chinese people are. Chinese people, they have one heartbeat, one identity. They know who they are. Like, they're Chinese. Their nationalism, their nationality overrides everything when it comes to their identity. Like, they're Chinese first and everything else second. And Africans, West Africans have to be that way. Like, no matter what tribe or ethnic group I am this nationality and I have to stand on it. We don't have that in West Africa, and that's a problem.
I want to just push back on that a little bit. I agree with most of what you said. It's just the thing when we compare it to China. China subjugates its population, basically enslaves its population, so the world can get their manufactured goods at a cheap cost. Uh, if we okay with that in Blackistan, then let's do it. But I feel like we shouldn't be trying to follow a model after China either, because unless we're gonna do the Blackistan, unless we're gonna take those risks and killing all those people and whipping all them people, because China like they gotta watch their people from committing suicide on the job because they work so much. They got safety nets outside of buildings so people don't jump and kill themselves. Like so if we're gonna compare it to that, we gotta be fair. And I think this needs to be all around Africa. It don't need to just be focused on West Africa, and we don't need to be trying to do it with a country like Nigeria. No, we need to create another country. Nigeria was the creation of the white man. We need to create the Blackistan. It ain't got to be that name, but like the concept needs to be there. We need to rename our territories. We need to rename our rivers, our waterways. I hate that Lake. They call it Lake Victoria in Uganda. It's stupid. Victoria Falls. I think Queen Elizabeth National Park, like these things, they all need to go. I agree with Shahori when he's doing that. The symbolism, doing away with the colonialism. That does a lot for your mentality. But I feel like you got to get that religion thing crossed off too. Once you get that crossed off, we moving. And we moving at lightning speed too. That's really holding us back. Everybody want to be a good person because of what they were taught in their religion. Whether you were taught Islam, or you want to be a peaceful Islam, not the radical jihadist, or whether you were taught Christianity and you want to be a peaceful Christian. I don't know if it's any radical elements for the Christians, for black people.
Absolutely. They the evangelicals. They live in the United States.
I mean, like for black people, like what a radical Christians that's gonna pick up a gun and Jesus Christ and like that, light everybody up. It
Some of
don't
them in
really.
Russia.
Oh, I can see that. I can see that. But I mean, like for Africans, for black people, like you ain't really got that. But you got a whole lot of radical black Muslims in Nigeria and a whole lot of radical black Muslims in the Sudan who think they ain't black. They think they Arabs.
Well, you got it wrong. Well, we radical when it comes to killing each other.
Right.
Right. Yeah, we you got the YNs. I ain't gonna say the word because I don't want to get terrible. But you got the YNs out here, man, they'll kill you in a heartbeat. They don't waste no time. Like you say something to them crazy and put a hand on them, man, they'll pull out that stick so quick.
I mean, but that's a reason for them to pull it out. You said something to them or you put your hand, that's offensive, like so that sound deep. What I noticed with the YNs, bro, is I stay in Chicago. I stay on the south side of Chicago. What I noticed with these little dudes is they're not really doing crime in our neighborhoods no more. The most they'll do is, hijack a little Kia, the Kia boys, and take it on a joyride, crash it somewhere. But they ain't robbing no black people. At gunpoint, stuff like that. Like they taking that stuff downtown. They robbing Asians and they robbing white folks downtown coming out the bars. So I will commend them for that. Like that. I think a good amount of our rhetoric from online is seeped down into their ear. They didn't got a hold of that. Even if it went online, it could have been from like a family member or a friend. That black rhetoric, like so. A lot of them don't really believe in committing crime with black people. Don't mean they won't do it, but they want to try to target somebody else before they, like have to go after somebody that look like them. That's what I'm noticing with these YNs, bro.
It's sad, man. It's sad. And there's a brother right here in the chat. His name is Black Education Radio. He said Northern Nigeria is housing Niger Republic, same people. They will recreate a new country with the Sahel Alliance. So I'm thinking in my head, that's the problem right there. Hausa. Like, why can't Nigerians just accept their nationality first? Like, why is it that nationality does not come before why is it that nationality doesn't come before your ethnicity?
It's a bunch of tribes just grouped together by white folks. A lot of these tribes were
That
hostile
that's
to
that's
each other.
that's true. But now, if that's the case, we we got to work together. We got to keep this country sovereign. Because here's the thing, all roads lead to each other. So like the northern Nigerian city should be connected to Lagos. People should be traveling. It should be commerce coming from the south to the north. Everybody makes more money. Everybody flourishes more. Everybody gets along. It stabilizes things. It's more problems when you just set apart like that. I'm this tribe, this tribe. Because the way white people see it and the other people outside of Africa see it, all they see is black people. That's it. They don't know which tribe you are. That doesn't even matter. All of you people look the same. That's what
I
they think.
I think what you're not considering is that tribes, it's a natural part of the human mindset. It's a natural part of our psyche. We don't really uh we don't really think in terms of like nationhood. That don't mean that we can't. I'm not making excuses for us. I'm just saying it's the natural way for people to think in terms of tribes. Europeans even do so. They just know how to put all their differences down when it comes to other people, when it comes to us for the greater good of Europeans.
So which one is more powerful, a nation or a tribe?
For sure, a nation.
That's why nationality matters more than your tribe.
I would agree. But unfortunately, everybody don't see it that way. Most people are sheep. Most people are animals. So animals are going to behave how animals behave, especially when they don't have a culture. Uh, uh, let me correct that. An adequate culture, a sufficient culture, uh, uh, a successful culture to steer them out of those animalistic ways. You always resort back to how you were wired, and whether that's you know uh whether that's like people having unprotected sex and they breeding at rates where they know they can't can you take care of the babies. You see that in Nigeria. You got kids swimming in sewage. Like, people go back to the natural animalistic ways. Unfortunately, go ahead. I'm
Hey,
sorry.
guy. Let me pass the mic to African Wahala. He just hopped on. Go ahead, African Wahala.
Hello.
Yeah, go ahead.
Hello.
African Wahala. Yeah, go ahead.
Hey, thank you so much, Dynast, and Happy New Year to you. Greetings to everyone on the panel. It's a very interesting topic about Burkina Faso, and it's very important as well because many of us consider Burkina Faso as one of the few African countries.
We lost you, African Wahala. We lost you.
Can
Y'all
you hear me
calling
now?
on- yeah, y'all calling in on these Obama phones, man. Can't be calling on Obama phones.
No, sorry about that. I'm just transitioning from Wi-Fi to
Okay.
non-Wi-Fi. That's why. Yeah. But yeah, so I was saying that Burkina Faso being one of the few African countries, and I apologize about any background noise in case you can hear a loud sound on the background. I hope you can hear me clearly.
I hear you loud and clear. Go ahead.
Okay, yeah.
All right, you went out again.
Was that for me,
Saying
guys?
is,
Yeah, African Wahala. You keep going in and out.
okay, can you hear me now?
I hear you now.
Okay, so what I'm saying is Burkina Faso being one of the few African countries, along with Mali and Niger, with the revolution that they
All right, man. You guys got to stop calling in on these Obama phones. All right. This is a no Obama phone
And
flag
it's a
zone.
very difficult process.
Africa Wahala, we didn't hear anything you said. You keep going in and out. You keep losing you.
Oh my God. Okay, let me give you one last try. I'm so sorry about that, guys. I apologize. So what I'm saying is Burkina Faso, along with Mali and Niger, being one of the few African regions that have collaborated and are working towards true emancipation, true independence. To me, I see them like the beacon of hope. I see them like countries that we should emulate. So, in the process of accomplishing the independence, they're going to be experiencing a lot of challenges, including the terrorism. But even before the revolution was implemented, they were already experiencing terrorism from external sponsorship and some internal sources. Part of it is religious extremism, but a lot of these guys, they are not really religious, in all fairness. And I'm not trying to give their religion a leeway because we understand that particular religion has contributed a lot to extremism and terrorism in many parts of Africa. But in the case of Burkina Faso, a lot of these guys that commit these terrorist acts, they are actually not Muslims. They claim to be Muslims and they hide behind Islam, but they are not. They are simply
Okay, what makes them
people.
not Muslim? What makes them not Muslim?
They are not Muslim because they don't practice the religion. They might
I
have
meant, bro,
Muslim names.
listen,
They might.
listen.
Okay, I'm listening.
What I don't understand what you mean by they don't practice the religion, because from my vantage point and from a lot of people's vantage point, that is the religion. It's just a very extreme part of the religion that not a lot of people engage in. Uh, uh, Shiri law or something like that, where if you're caught stealing, they cut
Sharia.
your hand off. You know, like so. There are Muslims who live like this, and you can't say that they're not Muslim. I see y'all do that a lot. Oh well, that's Islam. You know what? How are you gonna deal with Islam? Because that's your brother too. You also notify them as your brother when you're a fellow Muslim, no matter what they done. And I heard that there's something in Islam where even if you kill, if you just ask Allah for forgiveness and give a little bit more money, then you're forgiven. Like, nah, uh, they sound Muslim to me. That's just a way of people. If you're gonna say they're not Muslim, what makes you not be able to effectively deal with them?
So, first off, let me take something back, bro. You said something about you guys say that a lot. So, I don't know who you're referring to as you guys, but I'm not one of those people that shield for them. I'm not trying to protect them in any way.
Are
I'm
you
not even a
Muslim?
Muslim myself. Like,
Oh, you're
thank
not
you. You were,
Muslim.
but I knew you were. I knew you were going to go to that. I'm not a Muslim.
Okay, I thought you were
I have
Muslim. My
no
bad.
business. No, I have no business with Islam. I have a Muslim name. That's the funny thing, because my grandparents were Muslims, but I've never been in a mosque in my entire life. But that said, the reason I'm saying these guys are not Muslims, and don't get it wrong, bro, I'm from Nigeria, and Muslims, a lot of Islamic extremism has done a lot of damage in Nigeria. But I'm just looking from a Nigerian vantage point and seeing what is going on in Burkina Faso. A lot of those guys that commit these crimes in Nigeria, the Fulani terrorists, the Boko Haram, the ISWAP, they claim to be Muslims, but in reality, they are not really Muslims. But that doesn't mean that they are not extremist Muslims that will kill people and perpetuate terrorism,
How can a
right?
non-Muslim say that a Muslim isn't a Muslim? I don't understand that. And I don't think they would understand it either. If you told them they weren't Muslim, they'd raise their chopper to you and mow you down. So how is that gonna deal with these radical extremists just by saying, oh, well, these people ain't really Muslim? If they're not really Muslim, it should be easier for the Muslim people of that nation who are in governmental positions to deal with these people. But these people make excuses for these radical jihadist Muslims. They even
So
got
let me explain something, bro.
they have a
I'm not trying to
rehabilitation
protect.
program. They have a
Okay,
rehabilitation program for jihadists in Nigeria. If you kill someone and you want to rehab yourself back into society, they'll give you a job. Like,
it's called
no,
Operation Safe Corridor.
I really don't care what it's called.
It's a
That
criminal
shouldn't happen.
system that
That
was
is not
created
you
illegally,
effectively dealing with the
and
problem.
it wasn't created by the consent of the so-called Nigerians. Nigerians are completely against it. It's the corrupt politicians. Listen, bro, let me tell you something. If poverty can be reduced, fewer people would engage in terrorism and criminality. And that's just the truth. So the ultimate solution to this is 3 levels. Number 1, tackle poverty. Second level is to tackle the sponsors of these guys that are perpetrating this terrorism. And then the third approach will be to bomb them, use firepower, blow them to smithereens.
I call cap.
That is it.
I say you reverse that list.
I don't know why you're getting so upset, bro.
I say because
I don't know. Maybe you think I'm trying to protect the terrorists.
Let me explain.
No. Listen, no. Don't explain to me, brother. Please.
Okay.
Because you're not even trying to listen to what I'm saying.
I heard you.
I'm giving an opinion, and you're trying to tell me that I'm somehow trying to protect them. I'm not. I don't like them. They deserve to be completely destroyed.
These people. You're saying
how am I making excuses?
Let me explain it. You're saying what I'm saying. The third option should be your first option. You should be looking to mow them down.
If you get shot, if you have a bullet wound in your body, do you put a band-aid on the bullet wound?
All right. Listen.
No, answer that question, brother. Answer that question. If you have a bullet wound in your body, are you going to put a band-aid over the bullet wound? Or you're going to take out the bullet and treat it first?
I've been shot. Yeah, they do put band-aids over bullet wounds. They don't stitch them.
But are you going to try to take out the bullet and treat it before putting the band-aid?
You take out the bullet and treat it before putting the band-aid, yeah.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying, bro. We are saying the same thing here. But you're telling me, go ahead and bomb them before confronting the poverty and confronting the people that are sponsoring them. How is that going to be a solution? And I'm telling you from experience.
Let me explain, bro. You're not letting me explain.
All right, brother.
You're saying poverty is the issue, and I'm telling you poverty is not the issue. Prior to poverty ever existing on the continent, radical Muslims came to Africa. They captured a group of Africans, whipped them into submission, indoctrinated them with Islam, and used those Africans to go and capture other Africans. That's how the Swahilian slave trade started. They taught Europeans how to enslave Africans. So what you're saying is not feasible. The problem is Islam. The problem is Christianity. The problem is these foreign religions in Africa. And they got our people's head. They got us hypnotized.
Hey, Cash, you right, man. The Muslims were the first people to come and enslave people. That's the truth. Now, there's a sister in the chat. Her name is Mika.
Yeah, she been talking. She been talking, but she won't call up.
I need her to call. I need her to get in on here.
She the most active person in the comment section, but she won't call up.
Mika, you need to get on this chat. You talking a lot of shit. You need to get on this chat. Well,
brothers, what I'm saying here is, what I'm saying is, you guys are making very solid points. I'm not even disagreeing with you. But at the same time, from experience, I'm telling you, as a Nigerian, they've been bombing Boko Haram since 2009, although there is a lot of corruption in the process.
That's cap, bro. That's cap.
They are, bro. Come on, man. They are, man. They are. They're not effective. They are not optimizing the bombing. They're not optimizing the bombing. And there is a lot of corruption in the process.
At stopping the coup in Benin. You sure were
Was that?
effective at stopping the coup in a completely sovereign country, but you cannot stop radical Muslims in your country, bro. I'm not buying that.
It's
Nigerians,
because they are
y'all
the
corrupt.
government,
Y'all are
bro.
corrupt. Y'all like
Nigerian
to make
government should be
excuses
ashamed
for
of
each other.
itself.
This is why
I'm not
Nigeria
making
will
any
not
excuse,
get
bro.
nowhere.
Bro, you're
Y'all
just
don't
being.
like to
I
be
don't know if
honest
someone
with
has
each other.
agitated you earlier. I'm not even here to fight you or to argue with you. You're just raising your blood pressure for no reason.
I'm
Listen,
not
we're on the
raising it.
same page, bro. We're on the same page. We're
We
talking
literally
about
not, bro.
Burkina
We saying
Faso
two
and the
different things.
issues. We're on the same page, my brother.
Listen, we got
We're
the
talking
same
about the terrorism
destination,
going
but
on in
we going
Burkina
two
Faso. I don't
different
know why you're
routes.
upset with
That's what
me.
you can say.
I don't understand why you're upset with me, bro.
I'm not upset with you, bro. It's just your talking points are invalid, bro.
Hey,
They
can I
don't. They
can
Okay,
I
don't.
come
how
in
is
here?
your talking point valid? You're saying we need to ban Abrahamic religions. I'm not even in disagreement with you. Ban them, get them the
Elvis,
hell out of
Elvis.
Africa, bro. Get Abrahamic religions the hell out of Africa. I'm
Can
okay
I
with it,
can I
no
come in,
problem.
Dennis?
But at the same time, sorry, brother. But at the same time, that's not the only way to solve this stuff because it's multi-layered. There are so many issues that play into what we are facing this day in 2026. And Burkina Faso is one of the beacons of hope in Africa, and we are rooting for them. We want them to be successful.
No, the
So if
beacon
you're
of
telling
hope is
us
Rwanda. We rooting for Rwanda. Burkina Faso need to look to Rwanda. Paul Kagame,
why would Burkina Faso look to Rwanda when
because
Rwanda has
Paul
never dealt with
Kagame is
terrorism?
Guys, you
Has
because
guys gotta
Rwanda
Paul
ever
pass the
dealt
mic,
with
man.
Kagame
You gotta pass
has
the
is the
has
mic.
most
Rwanda ever dealt with
qualified
Islamic
leader.
terrorism, bro?
Because Paul
Ha,
Kagame is the most qualified leader in Africa, and I
he
guarantee
he's
you he could
he's
effectively
Hey,
lucky.
deal
hey,
with
hey,
those
Paul
y'all.
terrorists.
Kagame
Hey,
is
y'all.
lucky that he's not in the West African region. How
Hey,
about that?
hey, y'all. We gotta
He's
pass the
not, but
mic to
he's sitting.
Elvis. We gotta pass the
He's
mic to
lucky, bro.
Elvis. We gotta pass the mic to Elvis.
All right, thank you, bro. Look, let me just say this, right? And hello to the the panel in the chat. I'm a Christian, full stop. And I study Islam extensively. The texture criticism of Islam is that it is violent. Your prophet Muhammad, the prophet Muhammad said he spread Islam through the sword. That's one of the reasons why when you look at the Saudi Arabian flag, there's a sword on it. Islam in the text, it says that you are permitted to kill those who are non-believers. You're permitted to kill them. And one of the ways that Islam is spread is through violence. So when this gentleman said that these guys are not Muslims, they are. Like Castro was saying, they're following the Sunnah of the Prophet. They're doing what he did. If you read the Quran, you know about the battle of Bida, you know about the battle of Yamama, you know all these different battles and caravans that he went on. When he went to take Medina from the Jews, when he went to the battle of Yethro, you know all of these battles. So you know the history of it, the Quran and what it says about killing and usurping people and taking their land and converting them to Islam, with the sword at their necks. So this is what's happening. Now you can criticize Christianity or people who are Christians and the things that they do, but if you read the book, it doesn't tell you to go kill people to convert them to Christianity. It doesn't tell you that if people leave the religion of Christianity, they should be killed for apostasy. Those are some of the violent and deplorable things that's in Islam. When we criticize the religion, it's not the people, it's what the text says in the book that they revere. So Islam itself is destructive. And then you have a bunch of people who are sponsoring other Africans to kill their brothers and sisters who are non-Muslim or who are quote unquote moderate Muslim and take their lands. And these people have the means to support them almost indefinitely. So when we're talking about Islam being a problem, it's not a competition between Islam and Christianity. Yes, there are Christians who do terrible things, but it's not because they're reading their Bible and the Bible is telling them to go kill Muslims or go kill traditionalists. That's not happening. So if you're trying to tell us that these guys are not Muslim, like Castor was saying, you have to pinpoint it. Tell us the acts that they're doing is haram in the Quran. It's not haram. It's permissible. You're allowed to go on jihad. You're allowed to go on a holy struggle
Elvis,
against the
bro,
infidels, against the
Elvis.
mushrikins,
They
against the
were
kuffars.
African Wahala, or however you want to call his name. He will not dare say to a radical jihadist Muslim that you are not Muslim. They'll cut your head off, bro. So I don't like
The
when people
the
do that.
brother comes from Islamic family, and perhaps he's not practicing, which is fine. I'm not sure if he ever said his shahada before, and it depends if you're a Shia or Muslim. Because if you're
Bro,
Shia,
I don't even know what Shahada means. That's to tell you
okay,
how ignorant I am of the
no,
religion.
no, it's fine, it's
I
fine. I
have
get it.
no, I have no business with Islam ever.
No, no,
I
that's
have
fine. I get it, but I'm
zero
just saying.
inclination. I
So
don't like the
why would you
religion.
say they're
I
not
don't
real
like nothing.
Muslims?
But let me
What do you
Yeah,
explain.
think they're
that's
That's why
doing
that's
that's
what I'm
not
you're
saying.
not
real
even
about
How
letting
their
does
me
a
land.
faith?
That
non-Muslim?
brother just
How
started.
does a
That brother just
non-Muslim
got
tell a Muslim that
agitated,
he ain't
and he
Muslim?
didn't even let me land my point. Let me land my point, bro, and then you can understand another perspective. That's what I'm saying. Do you also realize that a lot of times when these guys go perform their terrorism in different regions, there is usually a high concentration of illegal mining, natural resources. They convert the local people into slaves. They work them and they extract minerals and they submit those minerals to foreign people. Do you know that happens?
Yeah, they sell it to the Arabs in Dubai to
Yes, they
get more
need to
guns
be
and
able
weapons.
to
That's
get
how they
more
fund their
weapons.
wars and their terrorism.
They need to
Their
be able to get
terrorism.
more weapons so they can subject more people. That's just the pipeline of how things go. We give you the resources,
Exactly.
give us
But
the
you're
weapons.
pinpointing it to Islam, and that's what I'm telling you, that you shouldn't just pinpoint it to Islam. Islam is part of the problem, no
Listen, I
doubt about
didn't.
it. I'm not
I said
disagreeing with you,
Christianity
but
too. You just got
there's
butthurt
so
over
many issues
Islam.
about it.
I said
Sorry?
Christianity too. I said all Abrahamic religions, but I'm specifically talking about Islam because
But
we're
in the case
referring
of
to
Burkina
Burkina
Faso,
Faso.
how does Christianity extremism contribute to the terrorism?
Christianity extremism does not exist amongst black people in Africa. There's no such thing.
Bro, you haven't been to Nigeria. That's why you're talking like that, bro.
Okay, show
Are
me the
you saying
Christians.
Nigerian
Show me the
Christians are
Christians that's
extremists? Is
going
that what you're
around and
telling me?
killing traditionalists, even though they don't agree with
I don't believe
traditionalism.
that. I don't
Yeah, are you
believe that
saying Nigerian
Nigerian
Christians are
Christians are
extremists?
extremists.
Bro, he just lying, bro.
I
He
just believe
lying.
that they strong in their faith and they might be a little over the top, but they not extremists.
They're not
Oh,
extremists. That's
Mika,
not.
Do
Mika
you
on the
want to
chat.
do you
Mika
want to
on the
listen
chat.
to another
He
perspective?
Hold
cannot
on, hold
show
on,
Do
hold
you
me
want
on.
to
no
listen to another
case.
perspective
Hey,
about
He
hey,
Burkina
can't show
Faso,
hey,
anyone
or
a
you just
case
want to
where
listen
a
to what
Christian
you
killed anybody
Mika on the chat. Mika on the
over
chat.
Christianity.
Hey, y'all
Go
let
ahead.
Mika talk.
Go
It
ahead,
is.
Mika. Go ahead, Mika.
I posted a quote in the chat from
Mika
Sahir
on that
Muslim
Obama
22.
phone.
I think it's a hadith, and it says that I've been commanded to fight the people until they confess that there's no other God but Allah and Muhammad is his prophet. So Muhammad is literally saying that he has a command to fight the people. And you can go, I'm not going to quote all the verses in the hadith or in the Quran that directly demand to kill Jews, kill Christians, like as part of the process of jihad. So anyone coming on here and saying that it's not the Muslims, it's just the good ones, the moderate ones, are delusional. And even in the West, they continue to be delusional until Muslims are going to be cool with you until they become the majority, and then they'll subjugate you. And you see exactly that what happened in North Africa and in many parts in the Middle East, like Iran, because Iran is Persia and Iraq is Babylon. Obviously, Egypt is Kemet and Sudan is Kush. Although that transition didn't just happen, it was through jihad. So the same thing that the liberals in America are trying to, oh, the Muslims, diversity and all this, when they outnumber you, you're going to see how they're going to replace you in America and in Europe right now. And then for these people who are delusional and keep trying to make Christianity the reason for all your problems, look, the only country in Africa that was never colonized is a Christian country, which is Ethiopia. And right now, if we look at historically, those that participated in the slave trade, I've said this so many times, it
Liberia
was the
was never
Muslims. The
colonized
Muslims
either.
started it.
Liberia was never
And
okay. Liberia was never colonized either. Okay, I'm gonna unmute you now.
the Muslims were actually enslaving white Europeans. They were not even enslaving Africans, which is the Barbary slave trade. They enslaved 3 million plus Europeans, brought them to North Africa, which is the population you see today. And those white slaves mixed with the Arabs that invaded in the 7th century. And then they also adopted the Amazigh tradition. So they'll tell you that we're the Berbers or whatever, but a lot of them are just the descendants of those slaves. So the Europeans joined in and industrialized the slave trade. But in Africa, you've got Muslims like Tipu Tip in Tanzania who enslaves millions and millions. So when you talk about black people enslaving other black people, it wasn't just Africans who were just delinquents. These were actual Muslims who looked at other Africans as infidels and had them enslaved. And then on top of that, you've got the traditionalists in West Africa. Those were not Christians. Like I said, all those kings in West Africa that participated, the Dahomey
Tell
and
us,
all these tribes were
Mika, tell us about
traditionalists, voodoo practitioners. So you can't come here and try to moralize and tell me that I'm a
She can't hear us. Mika, you're Obama phone. You can't hear us. Tell us about King Alfonso.
who are dying right now.
Still talking. Okay, we gotta remove her. Yeah, she can't hear us. So yeah, she can't hear us. So that's a problem.
Dang, man. She was just rambling.
Yeah. She can't hear us.
Well, I mean, I'm a Christian too.
Like I was bringing up King Alfonso in the Congo.
Oh man, yeah. I wanted to hear what she was gonna say. I don't really know much about what's going on in the Congo except the minerals deal that Trump made with them. But I was gonna say I'm a devout Christian myself, and I don't think the Christians are aggressive out there. I believe it's the Muslims. I really believe that. I believe that the reason why you had the biggest slave trade in history across the transatlantic is because Black Muslims in West Africa were an asset, because you still had Muslim societies. It's true. There's proof and evidence of that. So I mean,
y'all know
that is the worst thing that happened in West Africa is Islam conversions. Literally, because a lot of them believe that if you're not Islamic, you are the infidel, and they believe to slaughter you. They use that as a reason to slaughter if you're a strong-willed person who does not go for that belief system. That's just the truth. You got a lot of strong Christian Nigerians that are despised there.
All right, cool guys. We're gonna go ahead and close out. Everyone, thank you so much for joining. Like, share, subscribe. Until next time, family. Dynasty Mirror Search for Huru. Peace.